What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sports PSP in the building. Hope you all enjoying your holiday season and hope you all enjoying a beautiful Friday. Want to talk about some NFL news regarding last night's game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets, two teams that are competing for playoff spots. The Jacksonville Jaguars won the game last night, 19-3. Trevor Lawrence in that game, he was solid. 20 of 31, 229 yards, no touchdown passes, no interceptions, but he did have a touchdown run, but it was enough for the Jaguars to win the game. As for Zach Wilson, on the other hand, 9 of 18, 92 yards, 5.1 yards passing per attempt, one interception. He was sacked 3 times. He had a QBR on a scale of 0 to 100, 5.2, as well as a passer rating of 41.9. The game was intriguing, not only because two teams competing for playoff spots, but also the top 2 picks in the 2021 NFL Draft. Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 overall pick, and Zach Wilson, the number 2 pick. Zach Wilson, and I just got to say it, look, I submitted a video last night. The New York Jets should move on from him, and I think they should, because I've seen more potential with Mike White and Joe Flacco this season than Zach Wilson. We saw what Mike White did against the Chicago Bears. We saw what Joe Flacco did in week 2 against the Cleveland Browns. The New York Jets have some pieces, okay, from Garrett Wilson, from Elijah Moore, Hall, the running back who was injured. They have enough offensive talent, and certainly we know what they are as far as defense. That's a playoff caliber defense led by Robert Saleh, and who's done a very good job with this defense. But the problem and what's holding them back is their quarterback, Zach Wilson. Overall this season, he has played awful. I mean, if you just look at his numbers this season, 1,688 yards, not even 2,000 yards passing, 31st in the NFL. He is tied for 31st in the NFL with touchdown passes. He has 6. He has 7 interceptions, so he has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns, and his QBR is 37.5, which is 28th in the NFL, and his completion percentage is 54.5%. These are very terrible numbers, especially for year 2. Now, look, the offensive line, there's some problems with the Jets, but they have enough pieces on offense, and we know what they are on defense. And if you go back to that 2021 NFL Draft, not just with Trevor Lawrence, but if you look at the other quarterbacks, from Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, even though we haven't seen enough from Trey Lance, in a large part because of injury, Zach Wilson is the worst quarterback in that draft class. I'm sorry, but that's just the facts. That's just obvious. Trevor Lawrence is 1, Justin Fields is 2, Mac Jones is 3. Mac Jones is in a horrible situation because of the offensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, and he has to go. But that's a story for another day, and he doesn't have enough pieces. And also, too, we haven't seen enough from Trey Lance. Zach Wilson right now is the worst quarterback in the NFL. I just think the pressure, the expectations, the New York market, it's a lot for someone, especially of a quarterback, a young quarterback, to handle. He has problems with immaturity. Just look at the game, the post-game comments he made against the Patriots when they lost. He felt he was asked by a reporter, did you feel like you let the defense or the team down? And he said no. And it was a very unpopular opinion. The New York Jets just have to move on from Zach Wilson. And the Jets and the Giants, even though they have quarterbacks I'm neither sold on between Daniel Jones and Zach Wilson. I would much rather want Daniel Jones because at least he takes accountability and responsibility for his performance. I just think he doesn't have enough to work with as far as weapons outside of Saquon Barkley and Darius Slayton. I mean, Kenny Galladay has been a huge, major disappointment to the Giants. But Zach Wilson, at this point, with the way he's playing, he's going to end up he's probably a bust or becoming a bust. So you're going to probably have the discussion as far as him in the conversation with Jamarcus Russell or Ryan Leaf or other quarterbacks, unless he turns around his career. Unless he turns around his career or goes somewhere else, he needs a rejuvenation, and the Jets need more consistent play from their quarterback. I mean, he was benched in the second half of last night's game for Chris Streveler. Chris Streveler was 10 of 15, 90 yards. At least he was able to make some plays, to make some throws. His running ability But I've seen enough from Zach Wilson, and they should go forward with whoever else, whether Chris Streveler or whoever. But you just can't go with Zach Wilson going forward, and especially this season if you're the Jets, who are still trying to compete for a playoff spot. But those are my thoughts. Zach Wilson should be benched, and I think that the New York Jets, after this season, they got to find a way to move on from Zach Wilson because his play hasn't been enough, and I think he has immaturity and attitude issues. But anyway, let me know in the comment section below, guys. What do you think? Do you think I'm being unfair to Zach Wilson? Do you think that he deserves the criticism? Let me know in the comment section below. Outside of that, it's your boy Sports PSP. Hope you enjoying the rest of your day. And as usual, God bless and happy holidays and more.